Hey, it's MK and I am back with another Follow a Sketch February, and today's layout is pretty simplistic, but instead of circles, I decided to go with some hexagons because it's my favorite shape. And I have this cool little cottage that is off the beaten path at Bodie. So you basically have to, where all the roads lead, there are lots and lots of like houses, and they're documented and whatnot. Well, this one was off the path, not documented, not anything. And so I thought, hey, it's a cool little house. I'll take a picture of it. And there you go. I only have one. We didn't go into the sagebrush to actually go take a look at it because we didn't think we were allowed to go in there, considering it's not part of technically the tour. Anyways, just showing you guys a few of the product that I have to use for this layout. Now I'm only going to be making an 8.5 by 11 page today. So I have this piece of paper that is from a Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit that I received it in. I have no idea who manufactured it. I also have a 4x6 card from Bo Bunny, again, a Not Just for Boys Kit Club. The hexagons are from Minte. It's called the Urban Jungle Collection. And some cardstock and burlap and stuff. I know that I've pulled out the cork hexagon shapes for a really long time. I know that I was, excuse me, what was it? I know I've tried using them in a couple layouts and never made it that far as actually using them. So for this layout, I decided that I was going to go ahead and cut out a strip of the hexagons. I already kind of cut out a wonky little shape into it. So this one here, I just decided to go up a zigzag. So it went straight up, just kind of like the circles in the sketch. And then after that, I was like, oh, I have a big old huge hole in my paper. How am I going to cover it up? Well, I'll move the photo down some since I don't have that big of a blurb to say about it. Actually, I don't have a blurb to say about this little cottage at all. It's just kind of one of those where, you know, the road ends and that's it. And at the end of the road was this cottage that, you know, is clearly not inhabited, you guys, clearly. So anyways, yeah, I decided to take my peach cardstock and finish off my paper. So I'm going to do a little bit of paper piecing to get my layout to do what I want it to do, to fill the gap, I guess I should say. So I'm going to take a 1-inch strip of that peach and glue it together because clearly it is not 8.5 by 11 inches long, or 1 by 11, I should say. So I have to kind of piece it together, and I will hide my seams ever so slightly. I don't take a whole lot of effort into hiding the seams. I just want to do it a little bit. And then of course the one little 1-inch piece that I had to cut off to make this green piece 11 inches long, I'm going to use that to cover up the gap down at the bottom. And then my photo is going to cover up the large gap. Now, I usually don't bother doing this kind of thing. Normally it's just like, oh, that won't work, so use something else. But for this one, I thought that it worked really well for my photo, and I kind of wanted to just use it up because I love that green. It's very pretty. No other reason, because I like the color. And then, you know, I'm going to use the hexagons to cover up some of the gap as well. So I'm just not really worried about it. I just make sure that when I strategically place my glue, it's not over the gap. That's it. I don't have a whole lot to say about this little cottage. I think I just said that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm having a time lapse. I think that I'm saying stuff that I'm not sure if I already said it or not, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot because like I said, it's off the trail and I'm not sure if we were allowed to go back there. So I kind of zoomed in my camera and just took a picture real quick, and that was it. We didn't walk around it. We didn't anything. It was just like, hey, look at that. It kind of doesn't end, but yet it does because it's the only thing out there. I also put this little burlap. I understand that it's not big enough to do my entire photo mat, but I just put it where it was and kind of where it sticks off because in the hexagon portion, it blends in. So you wouldn't have even seen it anyways, even if I did have that small little burlap. Yes, I could have probably made the rest of that burlap from my scrap that I have in the upper right, but why when you can't even see hardly any of it on the hexagons? So I thought, hey, the most important part is showing on the green, and that's it. So I'm going to punch out some of these cork shapes. They are from Close to My Heart. They're current in the catalog if you guys are interested. I'm finally using something current in the catalog. Normally I use way retired stuff, like years and years old stuff. But this time it's current. And I do have a little bit of adhesive that I can't just rub off because it is kind of like a tear and tape. So I just went ahead and took a scrap and covered it up so that way the adhesive doesn't stick to my glass mat and B inside my photo mats, or no, page protectors. Anyways, so I'm taking my hexagons, and they're cork. They're made out of cork, if I hadn't said that already, which I think I did. And I'm just kind of punching them apart. They are perforated in some spots, like 2 or 3 different spots, but that's about it. And then just kind of placing them on my layout where I want them to go. There's not very much decorating on this layout. It's kind of the background is the decoration. And because I just used hexagons, and instead of having like a border strip through my circles, or through my hexagons, I should say, I went ahead and I put that over on the left-hand page to complete my 8.5 by 11 page. So I kind of sort of moved elements, used them, but moved them to work in my advantage rather than how the sketch really worked. And instead of having like a base page and then another page and then my circles, kind of the white border, I should say, around the sketch, I opted not to do that. Anyways, I don't hardly do that on any of my layouts. I don't know. I guess I just don't see a need for that unless the occasion calls for it, like a mixed media page is so warped that I use it right there. Anyways, happy discovery. I found out all these cork shapes. I'm not sure if it's labeled on there or not. It probably is. But I found out that these cork shapes are all adhesive backed. Woo! I didn't hardly have to do anything to this layout, you guys. It was awesome. I do have to say that I am using some of these Tim Holtz like book words or book phrases. I'm not really sure. Bless me. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, that was rude. I'm not really sure exactly what the technical term of these are, but they don't stick very well. So I had to use my glue, especially on the cork. I had to use my liquid glue, and then for the word, or the phrase I should say, that I cut in half, I went ahead and I used a foam dot and glue to make it the same level as the cork. I hope that makes sense. Last little thing that I'm going to add to the page, because I just felt like it was missing something, and it's just a little bit of white splatter. I'm not going completely crazy, but I'm just going where there is cork and kind of snaking around my layout. And then of course adding a few little dots right down here next to these cork pieces on the peach paper, but I definitely did not want to put any more peach down there. I used that one cork piece on the peach to cover up my seam where I had to put two peach pieces together. Oh my gosh, say that 10 times fast. And that's about it. I do think that I should have done something where the peach and the green kind of coordinate and the hexagons aren't covered up, but I'm okay with it. I think it looks just fine. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to check out the Facebook group where all of these sketches are happening. I did take my edge distressor and scuff up the edges of my burlap piece, and kind of it helped freight it just a little bit. It's not really noticeable, but I kind of like the effect. Anyways, be sure to check out the Facebook group where all of these sketches are happening at. It is down, the link for the album is down below. It's not for the group itself. So once you're in the album, if you click on the name of the group, that'll take you to the main group, and you can see all the feed and all that stuff, join the group, all that stuff. But the link is just for the album of where all these sketches are, because I don't want to take you to the group, and then if you're not familiar with Facebook, you don't know how to get to the album. So I thought it would be easier to take out the middleman and just take you straight to the album. It wasn't because I was trying to keep you guys from finding more out about this group, by all means. But anyways, yeah, so get into the album, click on the group name, and then you can see everything else that happens in this group. It's a really cool group. And thank you so much for watching, and I will check y'all later. Bye.